What are some women's issues that are overlooked? Hysterectomies. I am 24 and have reoccurring fibroid tumors and have since I was a teenager. It's not typical for someone my age to have multiple and large fibroids. My largest one was 11 centimeters. They are painful and I'm about to have my second surgery to remove them. I don't want to keep doing this over and over and would like to have a hysterectomy, yet my surgeon refuses because I'm young and might want children. If I get pregnant, I have a high risk of miscarriage. It will eat me alive if that happens to me. Pelvic floor physical therapy. It's life-changing, and many women don't know their physical issues can be easily addressed. That sometimes you really need that hysterectomy the doctors are refusing to give you because they want to make sure you don't want to have more children. Same goes for getting a tubal done. Endometriosis. Oral contraceptive birth control pills can cause depression and very often do. PMS and PMDD aren't taken seriously enough. The depression and anxiety of PMDD are debilitating. PCOS. 10% of women have this, including me, which leads to diabetes, infertility, and many other problems. In my country it's after birth care for mothers. Mental health system is fucked. Women are told the pain they are feeling is normal only to find out they need a stoma bag a month down the track. Some women have died after not being checked over properly before leaving the hospital. Edit, I don't even live in a third world country either. People are wanting to move here because of how we've handled COVID. How bad some of the negative effects hormonal birth control can be. I was losing my mind, but my doctor brushed it off saying I was just stressed. Got off it, and instantly felt so much better. Wanting to get your tubes tired, but you have to get your partner's permission. You need to have kids first. Also the general lack of sex ed, women's thinking they pee out of their vagina, or given the wrong information on for to keep things clean down there, or the correct ways on how to prevent pregnancy if that's what you want to do. The lack of actual education about your own body. Like didn't even know I had 3 holes until I was 16 and I learned it from an episode of Big Mouth. Medical conditions going untreated because they're all dismissed as anxiety, the new hysteria, or related to hormones. A neurologist tried to tell me unexplained episodes of body numbness couldn't possibly be the migraines the ER doctors suspected and treated effectively, but must be anxiety. I said that would be very unusual given that I had no anxiety before or during these episodes. Apparently I can be not anxious and magically cause a physical symptom with the magical power of anxiety even when I have no anxiety. I've also been told anxiety caused my food allergies. What's sad is, it took until I scrolled 3/4 of the way down the page to find something that isn't health related. Then there was one that wasn't health related. Then it was all health related again. We really have a problem here. Getting off of any form of birth control is hard. This past week I had my normal yearly OBG checkup. I mentioned I wanted my IUD out. My normal doctor was out of the office so I had to see someone else. She refused to take my IUD out because I wasn't married and she insisted that my fiancé wouldn't want the chance of us getting pregnant. Cervical cancer caused by HPV. I don't know about other women on here, but I never received an explanation of what a pap smear does/tests for or why it's so important to get done at the proper intervals. I had 3 abnormal paps in a row and my old GYN didn't bat an eye. I just got a new doctor and she insisted on doing a punch biopsy/colposcopy and it turns out I have HSIL, which has a pretty high likelihood of further mutating into full-blown cervical cancer. I'm now facing a cold knife conization or LEEP procedure because my old GYN didn't care enough to look into why my pap smears were abnormal. Medical issues. It took me 3 ER visits and a walk-in doctor to diagnose a raging infection in my abdomen. I was told it's all in my head. By the time it got diagnosed my bowel had almost perforated. I could have died if I was less tenacious. The fact that in many Middle Eastern countries women are still second-class citizens. My friend is Iranian and if she's raped she'll need 5 male eyewitnesses, but if she kills her attacker she'll be executed. In my country, Bangladesh, women are blamed for everything wrong that happens. For example, if a girl marries a guy and after years the guy dies of a disease or something, people will say the girl ate the guy, meaning anyone who marries the girl will die. Another example is that when women are sexually assaulted people say stuff like, why did the girl go in front of guys? Why did the girls go out at night? Why did the girl wear short dresses in front of guys? Stop, this is what Asian girls need to go through. I hope one day girl blaming will come to an end. Postpartum depression, it's so much more common than people think, but many mothers feel too guilty to reach out for help because they think everything is supposed to be amazing after getting the baby. Did anyone mention the pregnancy can make all your teeth fall out thing yet? Because that's gotta be up there. I'm sorry, what? If you ever get pregnant, or want to get pregnant and are trying, start taking the pregnancy vitamins plus extra calcium supplements right away. Apparently babies zap these from the mothers like crazy. A friend of mine was told to continue taking extra pregnancy vitamins and extra calcium supplements for a full year post-birth. Apparently it's really common that once all the extra hormones and vitamins disappear from your body after pregnancy, you start losing a lot of stuff at once. Hair falls out, teeth either develop many cavities or simply fall out as well, skin just decides it wants to be 13 again, etc. Autism in women. Related, ADHD in women. I'm a dude, and this will probably get buried, but I hate the fact that when I'm doing something with my longtime GF like buying a new car, renting a new app, taking a loan, etc., that people ignore my GF and assume she is just not important. They just look at me and talk only to me. I have to make an effort to include her in something she should be in from the start. I feel so bad for her and try to amend it as much as I can, but there is not much you can do. We were at the car dealers the other day looking at the car and the dealer kept ignoring her and her wishes. He was only looking at me and assumed she doesn't know what she is talking about. We just left. Health in general. So many medications have only been tested on men, when women can react to things very differently. Prolapse. I was properly shocked when I learned about this surprisingly somewhat common side effect from childbirth. Very little medical research has been done on women, which is why so few women with autism or ADHD etc. get diagnosed, but it also means we get given wrong doses of medications and painkillers are not as effective because they've all been tested on men. Honestly, the whole medical system we have is so misogynistic. I spoke to an ex-anti-vaxxer and she said the thing that pushed her to alternative medicine was the absolute failure for conventional medicine to help her with the severe issues she'd been having. Definitely increased emotional states during a period. They're always dismissed as unimportant or not real just because they're related to our period. Guess what? Intrusive and suicidal thoughts are still very real and very dangerous, no matter the circumstances. Oh, it's just your hormones, yes, and they still have a very real effect on us. We still very much feel these emotions we are experiencing. Hated hearing people say you'll be better when your period ends. Yeah, well, definitely don't want to be miserable for a week anyway, so why can't I seek help? The time it takes to heal from trauma. And money. I've been in therapy for 4 years, read 100 books on healing, gone to retreats, etc., and I'm sitting there this Saturday in a circle of women who are about to talk and cry for 6 hours on a Saturday, like what are our rapists doing right now? 'Cause they aren't sitting in a circle talking about their feelings, trying desperately to feel good in life again. Having a decent career, education, friendships, hobbies, and being financially independent only to be asked if you're married and aren't you worried about time running out. Saying no, I'm not interested in marriage or kids is met with a shocked reaction. Thought this attitude died out years ago, but it has not. Getting told to smile, sweetheart. The extra time, energy, and money that must be spent to look professional. I sometimes try to throw my hands up and say fuck it, let them think I'm ugly. And I stop plucking my eyebrows for a while, no makeup, etc. And I'm treated noticeably different. Not being able to get sterilized when you're 100,000,000% sure you don't want kids. PMS and cycle in general. Women's pain and health concerns. I was 18 and in constant pain and have stomach issues. I saw so many specialists who diagnosed me with depression. Of course I was depressed, I was in pain. I ended up being diagnosed with endometriosis and have had 2 surgeries to help with pain. My period is extremely painful to the point I've blacked out and I've seen 5 OB/GYNs and no one cares that I'm in severe pain on my period and missing work. I've been through IVF and after my egg retrieval I was told to take only Tylenol and ended up at the hospital. I had a miscarriage and called my doctor hysterical after being in pain for 13 hours waiting to pass everything and was told they couldn't help me. They've trauma from the amount of pain I've suffered through. Nearly every safety invention is designed for the average man. Airbags, seat belts, dosages for drugs, safety bars on roller coasters, etc. Look, I know we can't all custom order cars with different sized belts and bags, etc., but women can sustain serious injuries because safety features aren't meant for them. The fact that sexual harassment often starts before a girl is even an adult. The fact that women grow up learning that their most important source of value lies in their appearance, and other women also participate in reinforcing it. Painful sex conditions. How many of y'all have heard of any besides vaginismus such as lichen sclerosis, lichen planus, vulvodynia, etc.? They aren't uncommon and are often responsible for excessive tearing during sex, pain, etc. A lot of OBGYNs don't really seem to know much about them, and very often, if you complain about sex hurting, the only advice you will ever get is, well, have you tried more lube and foreplay? Not very useful if you have a legit skin condition that not only turns the skin for your vag into something like papier-mâché but also increases your risk for vulval cancer by a ton and can literally cover your clit in scar tissue / make you lose your labia minora. Paternity leave. New mothers could really use the help of their spouse around the house, and just spending time together with their child in general as a form of bonding and emotional release. It's treated strictly as a men's rights issue, and a low-priority one, when really it would be a massive benefit to women's emotional stability and home security. In my country, feminine hygiene products are subject to the same tax as luxury items. Something seems wrong there. Having access to pads and tampons. Most women have access to pads and tampons in my country, but we often forget about the women who don't. Also, sex education is not good. We need to be teaching about anatomy, periods, and menopause. Having periods. Just have to act normal, study normal, work normal even if in severe pain of blood gushing out in vast amounts. If you are poor, still gotta spend money on products so you don't have to walk around with bloody pants.